If you're a new player or someone who hasn't been back to play Destiny 2 in a while, this guide and this update is for you. Into the Light is a brand new update where Bungie gives away all of the content prior to their whole new expansion, Final Shape, for free. You don't have to spend a dime right now if you don't want to. Arguably, this is probably the best time to jump into the game or even come back if you haven't played in a while. I totally understand how overwhelming this game is for anybody that's new or anyone who took a break. The game's been around for like 10 years now, and all of the content that they're selling can not only make it really overwhelming, but I would say also really expensive if you buy it at full price. I personally have been on and off Destiny since OG Destiny 1, and at this point, I think the game has gotten just a lot better overall. In this video, I'm going to be giving you tips on what to do during the best time to play Destiny 2, and I think, again, that's right before this whole big expansion. There is a ton of content that's available, and I'm going to be dropping some timestamps so you can skip around to what's important to you. I got to start with the basics here, and that's character selection. You're not locking into having just one, so don't overthink it. I do recommend eventually, if you're into this game, make all three at one point because they all play pretty differently, and I mean, it's really nice to have three characters depending on what you want to do in the game. I've played all three, and I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of the classes and what I prefer. First is going to be the Hunter. You're fast, you've got awesome abilities like a bow that tethers enemies and does damage. Electric Arc has you basically moving around like lightning and doing high damage with just a ton of speed. You've got flame abilities that give you a knife that you could throw, which is pretty badass, and then you get this golden gun that does a ton of damage to bosses. Honestly, if you like the cape look, go with the Hunter, the cape's badass. Titans are basically the tanks in Destiny 2. You've got a lot of abilities that do a lot of damage, but you also provide shields for your team. You can hold objectives, dish out a lot of damage, have cool shoulder charges that one-shots things, especially people in PvP. Titans are basically a lot of fun and technically the Giga Chad class. You're basically punching things and tanking damage. Admittedly, this is the class that I've played the least because everyone I play with is a Titan. Hunter is the one that I would say I've played probably the second most, but Warlock has been my main. Warlock is going to be a mage class, and as much as I hate the dress that you get, there are some pretty cool ways to look cool with some armor. Fashion, again, is the real endgame of Destiny 2, guys, so that's really what you're going for. A lot of Warlock abilities are team-based. So right now I'm running an Arc Warlock, which has been just a blast. I'm able to summon this little arc turret that just takes things on, put down some like wells that help heal people or boost damage. Flame, those wells keep your team alive. They're really good for raids, and you're boosting damage for everyone that's standing in those as well and keeping them alive. Again, out of all three, this one has been my favorite, it's been my go-to, and it's because I play a lot of this game solo, and I could just put out not only a lot of damage, but I'm able to kind of like self-sustain here. When I'm playing Hunter, I feel a little squishier, and again, Titan, I feel like I'm going to have fun playing, but most of the people that I do play with, when I do play with people, play Titan, so I haven't really put too much into it. Once you've picked out a class, you're going to be leveling up your light, which is basically your power level. Everything in the game will rely on this power level, so if you're under-leveled, you're not going to be able to do a lot of damage, and you'll die very fast. One of the first things you could do after the whole introduction to the season is you get to the Hall of Heroes and you're going to be talking to Lord Shaxx, who lets you open a chest to the left of him that boosts you to 1810 right away. Equip all of that gear and you're basically ready to take on almost everything in the game. I'll have another section in this video going over the gear, what you should keep, what to get rid of, so don't stress over that right now. Once you've picked out your class, again, just because everything is free, there's two ways I think you could go about all of this content. You could start with the new light campaign, which I recommend for anyone new, and then what you'll be doing is working your way through chronologically. If you've got a lot of time, this is probably the best way to do it. This means beating Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, and Witch Queen. If you're playing this on PS5 with, I think, PlayStation Plus, it'll also let you play Lightfall, which came out last year. I reviewed it. Honestly, it's kind of like a mixed DLC. It's not really the best, but you do get strand abilities, which are pretty cool. On top of all this free content, you get every season that's come out since last year to this year for free. This is all going to be free up until, I think, June 4th, so take advantage of it now if you're watching this. If you're watching this after June 4th or 3rd or whenever this is gone, just know Destiny 2 is always releasing expansions for free. I wouldn't really stress out about it. The best time to catch up on whatever has happened is to play right before a big brand new expansion comes out. My advice is to be patient unless you want to wait for sale. I wouldn't buy any of this stuff at full price, guys. Seriously, it goes on sale a lot. You could definitely find deals for it. Don't stress. I did mention that there's 2 ways to do this. So if you're someone that doesn't have that much time to play, if it's just too much content for you to get through, or you've played some of it, here's kind of what I would prioritize looking back as someone that's gone through all of these expansions. I'd start with Beyond Light only because, I mean, it's not the best campaign, but you do want to get the stasis abilities. You're going to want to unlock this class and grab some exclusive exotics while you're at it. You could keep, by the way, all of the exotic guns that you get, even if the free access ends. After Beyond Light, go right into Witch Queen, as that expansion I think is not only the best campaign and story, and I think there's a lot of really good weapons there. Diostiostriga is an SMG that you get that I think does a ton of damage because of like its poison effect. It's really fun to use and it just melts bosses. Whoa. You can also get a Parasite rocket launcher, another really cool exotic to grab in that DLC. If you ask me, Witch Queen is peak Destiny 2. It's a blast and I really recommend you play it. If you're a PlayStation player, right after I'd drop into Lightfall, and the main reason here is you're going to want that Strand ability. The campaign I think isn't too good thanks to the weird story, but having Strand and access to that planet Neomuna to do those activities is actually really good and pretty fun. Once you've gone through the expansions that you want to play, you've got seasonal content to go through, as well as basically just getting stronger. On the map, you're going to be seeing icons that reward you by playing missions and weekly bonuses. In the menu, you should be able to see seasonal content under quests for you to play. Here's honestly where the game really just opens up for you, and you're basically able to not only get powerful, but just enjoy your time and do what you want to do. Final Shape, just like probably all the other expansions, is going to give you a boost in your light level. So I wouldn't really stress over just maxing out that light level unless it's something that, you know, you want to do really hard content right now. What I would be doing right now are any exotic missions so that you can get those guns. I'd also be jumping into the Onslaught mode, which is this whole new Horde mode that's come out for free. You get access to these Brave variant weapons that are really powerful. There's also shiny variants that have a cool new skin. And I think if you're up for the challenge, jump into that Pantheon mode and learn the raid bosses. What you'll want to do here is get a lot of exotic guns. You want to get some good legendary weapons and exotic armor. You want to get all of this stuff for PvP or PvE, whatever it is you prefer. The last big tip I want to give comes down to maybe I would say the most complicated part of Destiny 2 builds, and basically what to keep and what to scrap. The first thing I would do is create an account on light.gg and sync it to your Destiny account. What I do, I keep it simple. You want to check the ratings for your weapons. Rule of thumb, only keep the A and S class weapons. That's what I do. You could store these in your vault too, so that your Guardian isn't just like holding on to these and you're not able to get any more weapons. It might not be the best thing to do. I mean, I'm not a huge tryhard when it comes to this, but maybe there's a good B-roll weapon. You can keep it if you like, but personally me, if it's an A or an S class, I keep it. For armor, something I've seen is that you want a high distribution of that resilience at the bottom. I think it's the best stat in the game. Almost every build that I look at, you know, kind of focuses on high resilience. This helps you survive longer, and it helps with basically every class. I would say even the Titan class. You add these armor mods on there to increase this even more. What you'll want to do here is get it as close to 100 as possible with all of your gear so that you're getting the max bonus. I'm not a build channel by any means, but my go-to guy is Plunder the Booty. I'm going to link it in the description. I think his channel is awesome. I still use it to this day. Mobalytics is a website that's also great to use. A lot of content creator builds are on there, so you could jump on there, take a look at what you need on your phone, and maybe even watch the video if you'd like. Once you're ready to go into a build, I'd work my way towards it and save it as a loadout. The other stats, if you hover over them, are going to show you what they do. Some decrease melee charge time, your super charge time, increase speed, and even decrease your grenade. It's all helpful, but again, it really depends on what build that you're going for. From here on out, the main thing to do in Destiny 2 are going to be the weeklies. I wouldn't stress though, as everything is free till June 4th. You've got a lot of content to play and max out. I would say don't burn yourself out on the game, and remember to just have fun. Min-maxing can be fun for some people, but for a lot of people, it's really a headache. If you find yourself spending way too much time in the menu versus playing the game, you're overthinking it. There's a ton of users that are going through raid content. They have no idea what a build is. They use what looks cool to them, and they're successful. So that's it for my expansion tips. I would say, again, if you're new to the channel, drop a like, hit a subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what helped you out, if there is any other tips that I missed. Again, this is probably the best time to jump into Destiny 2, so if it's a game that you've been thinking about jumping into, if it's something you haven't played in a while, give it a download, try it out. There's a lot of stuff to go through right now, but again, don't burn yourself out, especially if you're planning on playing Final Shape. I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks.